have a, like, oh man, this could be a special team. This could be a special year. But listen, there's got, I say that, then I go, okay, well then a lot of things have to happen for you. Like you got to stay away from the injury bug. Well, we didn't. We've lost some talented guys, some starters, some role guys, specific guys. But for me, it was probably through some of that adversity, early in the year, middle of the season, that we kind of kept things together, and we're figuring out how to win a game or two or three, and we kind of got on a little bit of a roll. About that time, you kind of knew that, all right, this is a pretty special team, and sky's the limit with these guys.
When you were here, Brandon Gibson was on the practice squad a little bit in '09, and Deion Lewis was here. Do you have any memories of those guys? Could you see in them what they had become in New England and through their careers?
Well, they were talented players. Obviously, they were gifted, and both those guys were. I can vaguely remember because I was here, with both those guys. Brandon was a big, tall, athletic.
Danny Amendola. Did I say Brandon Gibson?
We had Gibson.
Danny Amendola.
Amendola.
Brandon Gibson's not on the Patriots. I'm sorry.
We had a Gibson.
Yeah, they were on the practice squad together.
Yeah, Amendola was a player that, I thought was real special. Core teams guy, going to be a return specialist, could be a slot receiver, had some talent. It was just unfortunate. Obviously, we couldn't keep him, and obviously he's been in New England now, and he's had a tremendous career, and he's helped them win some world championships. And Deion Lewis the same way. And that happens in this game. Listen, you're gonna lose some players. It's just the nature of the game. You're hoping to make the right decisions at the end of training camp or during the season, and but it does. It's credit to those guys for sticking with it and having good careers.
In terms of prep, is your plan to grind the midnight oil this week, and then next week when you get there,
grind the midnight oil again?
Are you you're going to work as hard next week?
Yeah, we're still we got a game to play, and it's not a vacation next week, and my message to the team is just that. I mean, we're gonna prepare this week as if we're playing this weekend, obviously, but and then we can sort of fine tune some things, but we just got to stay on top of our game, stay keep the grind, keep the intensity going right into next week.
Doug, your other head coaching job with Calvary Baptist Academy, what can you remember about those days and just the journey? Can you appreciate where you've come so far?
Well, it was obviously it was my first head coaching job when I retired, and those 4 years were special to me because, one, my family and my boys were right there in the school with me, being in a private school, and just watching the kids grow over a 4-year period, and then having the chance to see some of them go on to play college football or have great careers after college, and not necessarily in athletics, but just as students as well, and had a chance to play in some playoff games, and almost make it to a state championship a couple times down there, and those are special moments, moments that I'll remember, and obviously we're on a much bigger stage now, playing for the Super Bowl, but the journey's the same, the ride's the same. It's just as special doing it obviously at this level, and you still have the same types of relationships with these guys now today that you would with, say, a 16 or 17-year-old in high school.
Did you have the RPO in your playbook back then?
Heck yeah.
You were
Doug,
a backup quarterback.
No, Doug. Belichick playing against his teams. They obviously have a reputation. They spend a big flight gate. All that stuff going down the list. When you're preparing for a team like this, you can't just ignore all that stuff, right? Don't you have to be, just a little more cognizant of what's going on around you? I think this year people wondered if they had something to do with the fog in the game this year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Now they can control the weather. Well, we're playing in a dome, so there won't be any fog, unless the lights go out again. But listen, I don't really. My mind doesn't go there. My mind is on the Patriots and focused on scheme and trying to figure out how to beat them. That's the bottom line, and how to get my team prepared to play the final game of the season, and that's where my mind is right now.
The challenge, Doug, is to put aside playing the mystique of the Patriots, and how do you address that with the fellas?
Well, I think that's obviously that's a real question. That's a real issue that you have. I mean, these guys have, they've been there, they've done it, they've proven it time and time again, and it's my biggest focus with the team is let's just focus on today. Let's just win today. Let's get better today, and we'll worry about that when we get to the game. But obviously it's a credit to what the Patriots have done in their careers and their history, and everybody's trying to win championships like that. But we just got to focus on today.
A film study this week on them. What stands out that's different about them that has allowed them to win championships?
They're a resilient group too. Just put on that Jacksonville game. Here's a team that gets down in the game early, and there's no panic. They just stay the course. They execute their game plan. They, defense is creating turnovers. They're getting 3 and outs. They're getting the ball back to their offense, and that's what they're doing. It's just an efficient group, and that's why it's important for us to make sure that we continue to detail what we do in practice. We execute our game plan. Guys are focused that way, and you just can't get caught up in what they do. It's more about what we do in this game.
What's the most striking thing to you personally about the learning curve as a play caller, going back to the time when you took over here?
Well, I think with each game, you learn from the good, you learn from the bad calls that you make, the situational aspect of the game. Am I making the right call at the right time? Play call at the right time. How well, do I put our team in a position to be successful offensively? You learn from all of that, and I critique myself each Monday and on how I did, and try to get better the next week.
You changed from last year after going through it last year for the first time on this level, and then.
I just think the experience of having gone through an entire season last year, calling the games, is probably the biggest change for me. The biggest getting comfortable in that role, and then how I study, how I prepare, this season, learning from last year.
What do you remember about back in 2002 when you were with Green Bay going against Tom Brady and the Patriots? What do you remember about Brady back then?
2002.
Yeah. You were.
Where'd we play?
Long time ago.
We played at home.
Schaefer Stadium.
We played in Milwaukee.
No, you played
I honestly do not remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Like, just about Brady back then in general.
Good question. You stumped me.
Doug, following up on Sal's question, is that a message you need to about the mystique of Brady and Belichick, because they are kind of larger than life? Is that a message you need to get across to the team, to not be in awe of the mystique of the Patriots?
You know what? If I make this all about them, we're in trouble. Honestly, we're in trouble. And it's everything's going to be written about it. Everything has been written about it, talked about it, discussed, debated, and it's about us. And I'll keep saying that. It's what we do and how well we execute, and I can't worry about that.
When you meet with Frank Reich on the nights before games, what do you hope to accomplish in those sessions? What are those like with him?
How do you know we meet the night before?
He told us yesterday.
Frank. Coach him up. No, we just kind of go back through everything one last time, and for the most part, we're just kind of sitting to and telling stories, just kind of reminiscing about the season, and maybe the week we just had or something like that. But it's just a review of the plan and make sure that we're set on whatever our openers are for that particular game. Make sure we're all set and just kind of just go over everything one more time.
How much less have you slept or more have you worked over the last few days?
The
compared to
same.
what you?
The same.
Really?
The same. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it is football, and it's how well, I can prepare this football team, in all aspects. I don't believe in just changing for the sake of change, unless it benefits the football team. And we've been pretty good up to this point, obviously, in the things that we've done, and the way we go about our business and the way we practice, and so I sleep well at night, obviously, and wake up the next day, come to work, and put in a full day's work. I have a set of plans, set of boxes I need to check each day, and by the time I leave, I'm going to make sure every box is checked.
Backup quarterback in your playing.
Doug, having gone through this, players and coaches have gone through this, and various experiences, and players have gone through this. How much does it allow those guys to tell those who have gone through this what to expect next week? Because it's a different stage of every encounter. You've gone through it, you've got coaches gone through it. How much will that help your players who have not gone through this?
Oh, I think it'll help. I think it'll help to have those guys, maybe even stand up and talk to the team, or at least talk to, one side, if it's Chris Long or LeGarrette or Malcolm or Torrey or whoever it is, just to share their experiences about next week and what it, what it can entail, because it's definitely going to be a busy week, and there's going to be a lot of distractions. And I think the team that can, put aside the distractions and focus on the game, team that's going to probably benefit from that.
Do something.
Are
you going to do something on the day of the game where it's a longer day, the guys come out early, got like 3 hours until the game, or some guys have said they kind of wore out during the fourth quarter because they exhausted too much energy when they first came out?
Well, those are all things that we're kind of going through right now, with the extended pregame, extended halftime, those types of things. Just being prepared for that, coaching our players now for that, so that they're ready to go, and they understand that it is a little bit longer than a normal game, and not to be in that position, obviously not to wear themselves out or do anything extra that would hinder them from playing 60 minutes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.